Hello, everybody.
Hi.
You caught me off guard with that one.
Let's go!
Let's go! Hannah is clearly very excited. So, welcome to our 41st episode? No, this is our 42nd episode.
42.
That's right. We hit the 40 milestone with the E3 episode.
Yes, we've only had one episode since.
That's true.
And 1 + 1 is 2.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We might have to get a fact checker on that one. I myself
Get the astrologist
am not certain. Oh, yeah, we'll consult the
Count
stars.
the stars.
Yeah, we'll consult the stars and see what
Stars
say
say 42.
Oh, well, that would make sense for anyone who has read or watched The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It is reasonable. Anyway, so first of all, I did want to make a notice of this at some point leading up to it, so I figure we'll just do it now since we're on the topic.
Is this our apology video? Did we do something controversial? Is it all the girls drinking?
Oh, you know what? Well, because another interesting thing, too, as on cue, but perhaps more so because we're focused on it, setting up for this episode, every time we attempt to start doing anything, the ferrets will begin loudly drinking their water.
They literally weren't drinking like 5
They
minutes ago.
weren't. And then we stopped doing our test recording, and they stopped drinking.
Yeah.
And then we sat down and we're like, okay, let's get ready to start. Count it down. You said 3, they start drinking again.
Yep.
We paused. She stops drinking. We start. She starts drinking again. She's just kind of walking the upper platform in circles, just drinking whenever we talk. But anyway, like I've been trying to get to, we are rapidly approaching our 50th episode. 50 episode milestone. So I want to say now, for our 50th episode, I want to do something kind of big, fancy, and cool.
Okay.
I have no idea what that's going to be.
All right.
But regardless, we are on our usual schedule leading up to that point. And since last week was sort of my topic coming back from E3 after a long break, we're going into another one of Hannah's topics, which I know nothing about.
Yeah, it was funny.
I'm kind of excited.
All this week, he was grilling me. And you don't normally, which was really weird. You kept going, what, do you have an episode? 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 And I'm like, nope. Every single time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll think about it. I'll figure it out. I'll have one. I just don't have one right now.
Yeah.
And so then it came time to record, like the recording day.
Right.
And I was like, okay, it's time. It's recording day. Are we going to record? And he's like, I thought we weren't doing an episode this week. And I was like, I told you I'd have an episode.
See, I don't think you ever said you would have one ready.
I did.
I don't think you did.
In the car on the highway to D&D, I told you I'd have an episode ready.
Okay. I must have just been paying attention to the road and I didn't hear you say it. Because I was under the impression that you were like, you kind of were just like, yeah, I'm going to think about it and we'll get to it. But then, like, the day we were going to record approached and we slept in late. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're probably not recording today. That's fine. Well, yeah, because you had never said anything between that point and this about like having come up with a topic. I just assumed you didn't.
You said
get
the day.
To it yet.
I knew I'd have it done by the day.
Yeah, I think I was like asking about it so much this week because like with my crazy busy work week, I had like a very specific window of time with which to record. So I was like, oh, we're gonna have to record that day, or else it's just not gonna happen this week. But
we decided not on the 4th of July because there'd be fireworks.
Yeah, right, and it was fairly loud.
And today was supposed to be the only day before your only day off, and so we were gonna record late in the day anyways.
Right.
And we don't normally record until the sun goes down because it's hot.
True.
And so I knew I had at least until sundown to come with an episode, and I had it this morning while the sun was still up.
Well, I'm very proud of you. I don't think I could have turned over whatever the episode idea could have been on such a short notice.
I'm an artist.
Clearly, you are a visionary.
It's also just gonna be a mess.
Well, I mean, but isn't that like the whole theme of the podcast?
Exactly,
like the whole point of the podcast is that it's
spontaneous.
All I know about this, the only thing I have to go off of is she told me before we started recording that I needed a pad of paper and a pen.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming we're playing a game of some
I
kind?
also have a pad of pencil.
You do
paper.
have both of those.
Pad of pencil and a pen? Pad of paper, pencil, pen. Yep.
Yeah.
So
there's the mess we were talking about.
Yeah, I slept all day. My brain has been so fucked because I marathoned all of Escape the Night.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
On YouTube Originals or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter why I watched it. I watched it. And I basically stayed up for like 2 straight days just watching it and drawing. And so now I sleep all day and stay up all night again. So bye-bye bedtime. I don't know if I told you guys I had one.
You did mention briefly at one point in the last couple of weeks you were working on fixing your schedule. And you did. It's just you unfixed it. Yeah.
It's gone now. It wasn't convenient for me.
Can I tell them what time you woke up?
Sure.
It's my favorite. So when I say I slept in, I wasn't feeling super good this morning. I kind of like got up super early, laid in bed for a little longer, fell back asleep. I woke up fairly late. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I still didn't feel like doing stuff. I didn't really get started on anything until later, but I was still just laying in bed the whole time. You finally woke up from bed at 8 p.m.
What? That's not true.
Yeah, you did.
No.
It was 8 o'clock.
It was not. That is a lie. Lies and slander.
The sun went down like 30 minutes after
I watched it go down. I didn't just wake up. I worked on this whole thing.
It's not just wake up. It's like almost midnight.
I woke up at 5:15.
You woke up at 5:15.
I told you were didn't go back to sleep.
You were on your phone for a little while. That's true. You were just like rolled over and you were like half asleep watching TikToks or like YouTube videos or whatever.
I'm still half asleep, mind you. But I've been conscious since 5:15.
Yeah. You didn't like start doing stuff until 8.
I didn't start doing stuff until like now.
Yeah, it's fair.
This is the only time I've pretended to have life.
The first time that I noticed you like get up and like move around and grab a bunch of stuff while I was like sitting there glued to my episode of Critical Role was like around 8.
Yeah, because I watched TikToks for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then
that's what all those notifications on my phone were.
Anyway,
you sending me TikToks.
So I decided we're gonna play a really messy game of like the pre-Newlywed game.
The pre-Newlywed? What? Wait.
It's the Newlywed game, but we're not married.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So I grabbed a handful of questions.
Oh boy. All right, I gotta make sure I have plenty of paper.
And just so we don't gross out any of our viewers, I didn't put any like whoopee questions in there.
Whoop. Oh, is that like...
That's what the old people call it.
That's the fuck questions?
Yeah, no fuck questions.
No fuck questions.
I was thinking of putting one in there.
This is a Christian Minecraft server.
We haven't done an entire sex episode before.
Oh, we did. That's true.
No, we didn't.
You're 100%
it's the
right.
pure Christian channel.
Yeah, this is only G-rated content.
For your kids.
Yeah.
But
it's right next to, right in between Bluey and Blippy on your YouTube Kids app.
Bluey fucking Blippy.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Anyone draws that and puts it in the comments.
No Bluey Blippy content.
I will die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
just channel deleted.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. We will. Yeah. We'll. If we see that fan art in the comments, we will nuke the channel.
Anyway, I grabbed some of these questions. And usually what they do is they'll, like, make a partner leave the room and then ask them these questions and they'll write down all of the answers. And fill it all out, sure. And then the other partner comes back and they'll ask the questions again.
Right.
And they'll try and, like, match their questions up. We're, like, kind of doing that. You're not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question.
Okay.
And we're going to answer it for each other.
So I have to write down what I think you would answer. You write down what you think I would answer.
We're going to do both. Unless you don't.
Oh, because we also have to answer it. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll write down what I would answer for me, but I will also write down what I think you would say.
That makes sense. Okay.
And then we'll go over all the answers.
So we're basically just like taking extra time to like make sure we have like. It's kind of doing both steps at once.
Unless you want to go back. Yeah, we're going to do both steps at once unless you want to go back and forth. And, like, we'll do one
No.
question for you, one question for me.
Nah, I'm good with that. We can do that. So we're both doing both questions, though.
We're both going to do all of them.
I'm into it.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, sure. I was born ready for this.
Okay. Question number 1 is, out of you both, who cries the most?
Out of the two of us, who cries the most? Okay. What do I think the answer is?
Yeah, so who do you think cries the most out of us? And who do you think I think cries the most out of us both?
I'm going to have to separate it a little bit.
I'm just going to waste paper and write it everywhere.
I don't have a lot of notebook paper, so I'm going to kind of organize it. But
lots of little paper sounds.
between us, who cries?
Okay, I have mine.
Okay, I have mine as well.
Okay, you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first, sure. So am I just giving what I think you answered, or am I giving my answer?
We can go one at a time. So you give
My answer, then you give your answer, and we'll see if we both got it right.
You give your answer for, like, who you think cries the most.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I thought you would say to confirm or deny it.
That works. Let's do that.
And then we'll go in reverse.
Dope. Okay. So between the two of us,
Who do you think cries the most?
I think it's got to be you, right?
I also wrote that you thought it would be me.
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like I don't tend to cry very often, at least not, like, in front of people.
Oh, I don't like to cry in front of people either.
Yeah. Well, I know you don't, but, like, I feel like it's just happened more.
I just cry more.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to go in reverse. I think I wrote me and me.
Yeah, I also wrote you and you. Yeah. I feel like you've actually, like, seen me project tears on my face. Maybe twice.
I've seen you cry.
Yeah, maybe twice. But not, like, very much.
No, I've seen you cry more than twice, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And I haven't cried in a long time.
Yeah, like, for both of us, it's like, it's really not, it doesn't happen.
But you've seen me cry to the point where I almost threw up.
That is true. We're not very cryy.
Oh my
people,
god.
I feel like.
Yeah,
I feel like, what's up?
No, I definitely cry more. I'm just like, I could think of a handful of times I've cried.
Yeah.
And I can only think of a few different times you've probably cried.
Yeah. Definitely.
D&D, it's an iconic story.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my fault. Technically.
It was kind of my fault.
Sure.
Because the real reason I cried wasn't because it was, like, overall sad. Like, I feel like... Okay, so I'll explain it, because now we're talking about it. I cried at D&D because my character is a very, like, emotionally, like, not stunted, like, emotionally blocked off teenage girl, and I get really close into her headspace. She really cares about babies, and she, like, found this tiny mushroom creature that she took really, really, really good care of.
Yeah, a little myconid sproutling.
Yeah, she, like, adopted him. She took really good care of him, with the full intention of returning him back to his family.
Right.
And we got him there to, like, back to his home. It took a long time. It was really hard. And all in one piece, he was fine. Except for when she tried to do the best thing for him and put him back in the dirt, which was tainted, and it poisoned him.
Yes.
Which meant that they might have to kill him, which she wasn't going to do.
That was a 5-second debate amongst the party.
But I think the real reason she was crying was because it was like she got him that far.
Yeah.
And the reason I was crying.
Yeah.
is because she got him that far and she kept him safe the entire time, and literally at the finish line she basically killed him with her own hands.
Right.
It was so upsetting.
Yeah. Which, thank goodness, you managed to fix it.
Yeah.
And, like, at last you left him, he seemed like he was doing okay. The whole colony was kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And they were kind of set to nomadically wandering the somewhat dangerous tunnels of the Underdark, but at the very least he was alive. And
right. And they had a way to cure him and stuff, and it was fine.
Yeah, the infection had not set in deep enough that it was spreading. It had just begun to make its roots, and they were able to fix it.
Regardless, like, be mean to a baby or an animal, or, like, I will cry.
Yes.
Especially if I'm the one who did it. But anyway.
You're the one who was mean to the baby. You weren't intentionally mean to the baby. You didn't do it on purpose.
No, but I purposefully did the action without knowing what would be the result.
Sure.
But that also, the way that this question went, is I feel like I can't talk. I think we're complicating it a bit. I think we should just answer for each other, and then we can confirm or deny if we're wrong or right.
That's smart. I like that.
Okay, second question then.
All right. So that one was pretty unanimous. We both kind of agreed on that one.
Yes. I cracked the most.
Yeah. Both of us, not a lot, but you definitely more.
But me more.
Yeah.
What did your partner want to be when they were a kid? Like, what did they want to be when they grew up?
Ooh. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
I knew what I wanted to be when I was a kid. I'm just going to write mine in the margin, and I'll write what I think you wanted to be when you were a child.
You want to be...
Which is kind of hard.
What did you want to be when you were a kid? It's tough.
We're going to test our relationship here.
There's a couple of ways this could go. This is
I know I've told you mine.
I feel like you have told me.
It's because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like that's the thing is that I feel like you did tell me, but I can't recall it, and so I'm like trying to dredge up little pieces of memory to see if I can like
grab it from somewhere.
I have to make a guess here, and then I have to answer for myself, which I think I kind of have an answer for myself.
That's the thing is I wrote down pretty quickly what I think you wanted to be as a kid. I don't know if it's right. But I
You might be right. I feel like I've said it to you at least once.
I went with my gut instinct.
Yeah. There were a couple things I've mentioned as like things I was like, oh, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I could probably do this. But there's one thing that I definitely remember being like, I wanted to do this. Yeah. But, I think...
Lots of question marks on mine. Riveting. You got it?
This is my guess because I feel like I unlocked a flashbulb memory. I don't know if this is. I think this might be later. I don't think this is when you were a kid, but this is my guess.
Okay, mine might also be the same for you. I have okay. So I'll go first.
Yeah, because I went first last time. You should go next.
When you were a baby, I thought the first thing I wrote is that I thought you wanted to be a firefighter.
Interesting.
Because you were part of the whole firehouse thing.
I was part of the juniors for like a year. Yeah.
But I wrote below it, when you were younger, a wizard?
I did want to be a wizard really bad. When I went through a phase when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and like that kind of continued where I wanted to either be like an action hero or a wizard.
Yeah.
I like, and that was like, it was when Power Rangers was big. It was when Pokemon was big.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be a Power Ranger, or I want to be a wizard, or I want to have like just a bunch of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And
well, who didn't want to be a Pokemon master?
Right, exactly. But all those things happened, but they were things that were like little flashbulb, like this was not a thing that like
you
ever
wanted to
went
be long term.
It's not a thing that ever went seriously. There was a period of my life from middle school to like mid-late high school where I was deadly serious about something, and that's the answer I put. I actually didn't put that one.
Okay, what was it?
I wanted to be a voice actor.
Oh, a voice actor!
Yeah.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah, I wanted to be an anime or video game voice actor. You know what? I think about it a lot. A part of me wants to.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I might just like record some voice samples someday.
Because I do start auditioning for sure.
I do character voices at D&D like on a weekly basis. At this point, I have like years of random improv training for like actually hundreds of different characters.
Go for it.
I might do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what did you put for me?
I put, and this is again shot in the dark. I put, you wanted to either
I don't think you're gonna get it.
Live in the woods and be a witch.
Okay.
That was the unserious answer. The serious answer was you wanted to run a daycare for all of your friends' babies?
So, of course I wanted to be
or
a witch.
pets, I argued. But
yeah. Well, of course I want to be a witch, but that's like a lifelong goal. That wasn't like a job I wanted.
Sure. Yeah.
But, also, being, like, a caretaker for everyone's kids was something that I seriously considered, but only, like, in my 20s.
Sure, yeah, reasonable. That's kind of what I was worried about. I'm like, I feel like this was a later thing and it wasn't a younger you thing.
Yeah, like, both of those answers are things I wanted when I was either a teen or when I was, an adult.
Yeah.
Neither of them are wrong.
Sure.
What I wanted to be when I was a kid was I either wanted to do nothing.
Okay, I respect that.
Or because I didn't think about it that much.
Sure, yeah.
Or I wanted to be a lion.
What?
That's the only thing.
How was I gonna guess a lion?
I told you that before. The only thing
I didn't think you were serious.
The only thing I was serious about being when I was a child was I wanted to be a lion. That's it.
See, I feel like we should have specified like when you say what you wanted to be when you were a kid, like what was the age range? Because if you're like,
child.
what did you? Because
12 and under.
Yeah, because then you might have gotten it right. I definitely wanted to be a wizard, but like that wasn't a real thing.
Well, of course not.
But that's part of the fun of it. Yeah, I should have gone a little crazy with it. I feel like I went too rounded.
I also didn't have any other answers. I wanted to either be a lion or do nothing. I wanted to be a lion or be dead. That was like it.
Damn, kids are crazy sometimes.
Yeah, kids are nuts. I mean, I'd still live that life if I could.
Yeah, if you could be a lion, you would do it in a heartbeat. There's
dream
no
of
fucking
being a
doubt.
lion.
Yeah. Jesus. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you can be a lion and I can be a wizard and we can both live our dreams.
Yeah, I'll be the wizard familiar.
Yeah, you'll be my lion familiar. It'll be perfect.
Okay.
That gets a little questionable, I think.
The thing is I was very particular about it when I was a child, though. It's like I didn't want any of that anthropomorphic bullshit.
I want to
be a lion,
yeah.
An actual lion, or no dice. Like,
Jesus, that's awesome.
Okay.
If I do not turn into a lioness, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Okay. Next question. It says, complete this sentence. I knew I found the love of my life when they... This one's gonna be fucking hard.
Shit. Whoa. That's a deep question. What's the moment? What's the moment that you knew?
Yeah, that you, fell in love.
Ooh. Shit.
It's really hard.
Oh, that's such a deep question. And then I have to come up with my answer for that? What the fuck?
Well, you don't have to guess my answer. We could guess each other's answers, I suppose.
No, I want to write down what I think you're going to answer.
Okay.
But I have to also decide what that was for me.
Okay, so we'll guess for each other then.
Yeah, of course. Isn't that the point of the game?
It is, but I was saying that we could try and not answer for each other, but we have been. So
let's do it. What is What is my
I knew I
answer?
found the love of my life when they.
I knew I found the love of my life when they.
I'm trying to pinpoint the moment.
Yeah. Well, it's complicated because I feel like there were kind of a few moments for me.
Well, there were a few moments, but also I feel like it was more not ambiguous, but it was I didn't ever actually expect our relationship to get serious until it did.
Yeah, I mean that had never been a thing that you had really
Experienced.
done. Yeah, it wasn't really your thing.
So, I don't think I realized it was happening until it had already started happening.
Yeah, reasonable.
So trying to find a good pinpoint moment. You'd think with it being that way, I would know exactly when it slapped me across the face, but
What would be it? Whew.
What did you do? Because it says when they. I knew I found love in my life when you did something. What did you do?
Yeah, what did I do that made you go, okay?
That's the guy.
Shit, what is my answer? What do I think you're going to answer? This is a fucking...
Yeah, this is hard.
This is an absolute knockout punch. Apologies if you get like a minute and a half of radio silence on this podcast.
A minute and a half of radio silence with just interruptions of going, this is hard.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a rough one.
I think I know. Well, maybe not for you, but I'm going to guess this. It's going to be silly.
Oh, this is so complicated.
You know, God, I don't want to answer what I'm going to answer.
I have a couple ideas.
Well, I'll try and find a different moment. Put in some elevator music.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that. That sounds like I'd be breaking our podcast's very important rule of strictly no editing at all.
No editing at all.
Yeah, I do not edit.
And I would take
drag
the
and
chance
drop.
of looking up
I will not edit
non-copyrighted music, but I don't.
I refuse to edit this podcast. It's not happening. We have come this far without editing it at all. We can't start now. We can't start now. If you finish early, riff. Just start
telling a story.
Start talking about stuff. Yeah, while I answer it. I'm like tossing over like I think 4 ideas at this point.
Oh, I wrote what I thought you would pick.
Yeah, I'm kind of working on that right now.
Trying to figure out what I would pick. While also consuming my pen.
Right.
This is difficult, and I'm trying to think of 12 things at once. Okay, I'm just gonna write down what I wrote. No, I'm not gonna write that down. That's awful. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Now, important question.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't give anything away. But I'm not necessarily going to stick with it. But just so that I know what I should be weeding through for ideas. Does it have to be a singular moment, or can it be like a activity, or like
I think it can be, it's like an activity. I knew I found the love of my life when they did something.
Did a thing. Yeah, okay. But it doesn't have to be like something that happened in a single moment. It can be like a long-term thing that happened over a period of time. Okay.
You know, I think I got it.
Okay. I think I have mine. What do I think you're going to answer?
Well, I'm done now. So I'll try and convince the people. I'll try and convince the people for a moment. So I'm not going to show you guys, but I put up a new dice setup on my bookshelf, and it's slowly been falling apart all day.
It has been falling apart today. It looked really neat. She basically like organized all of her dice into test tubes and stuff and put them on little test tube racks, and they stuck really well, and they looked really cool. And the sticky strips have been falling off.
Yep, so that's been stupid.
Test tubes have been hitting the ground at a semi-regular interval. At least they're like plastic, so they don't shatter.
Yeah, they don't break, but they get scuffed, and also I'm not putting them back up, and I'm like spitefully not putting them back on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Just letting them lay on the floor.
That's pretty fair.
Did you pick your moment?
I did.
Okay.
I think we're locked in.
Okie dokie. You want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I think it's technically mine to go first.
Okay.
So what did I think your answer was?
Mm-hmm.
I think the moment that you were like, this is my guy.
Yeah.
This one's iffy because it could have happened earlier.
Okay.
But I feel like the moment you were like, this is locked in was in our current campaigns.
Okay.
When we like built up for a really long time, like sort of the mutual attraction and flirtation that both of our characters, that Arya and Ivy, had for each other.
Uh-huh.
And then eventually that culminated in the two of them deciding that they wanted to be together. And then shortly thereafter with our other campaign where like we kind of both came to the understanding, it's like, oh, Angelo and Alistair like are kind of like there's chemistry there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we had those moments happen and you're just like, oh, I feel like that was a light bulb in your head when you were like, oh, I feel like I'm just going to be romancing this guy's characters for like the rest of my life.
As our characters started slowly falling in love with each other more and more often.
It was just different facets of our personalities finding the things we love about each other.
Yeah.
That's I mean, it could have been earlier, but that's the one I think that might have been the closest, like the most recently stuck in your mind.
That I really like this guy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm wrong, but...
Well, that is, like, kind of a thing, is, like, I didn't want to just write D&D, because, like, I wasn't like, oh, we played D&D, I'm like, I'm in love with this man.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
So it is kind of like, it was a slow burn of, like, eventually just, like, our characters falling in love over and over and over.
Sure.
But what I wrote as, like, I think my very first, like, light bulb moment where I was like, I think I'm, like, falling in love with this guy was when we were watching Game of Thrones and you would scratch my back for, like, 5 hours.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, man, I spiked the fuck out of that. Whoops.
I was like...
My apologies, headphones users.
I like this. This man's a winner. He sits here and just scratches my back forever and ever and ever. And eventually I won't have skin, and I'm in love with that.
I don't want
And I love that for me.
This skin gets in the way anyway.
Okay.
That's precious. I love that. Those are long-ass episodes. I'm just like, I gotta make sure you're, like, not...
falling asleep.
Yeah, so I'm like, let me just, like...
Little did you know, I don't sleep!
Right, exactly.
But, I'll take the pets anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. I love that.
I said that...
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, that's so sweet. What did you think mine was?
I think you... Mine's funny for you, I guess, because I wasn't going to figure it out.
Oh, no.
I feel like yours is true in the way that mine is true, where it's like, I feel like mine's also true, but not a moment you would have picked.
Sure.
I think that you... one of your moments was when I started farting in front of you. But in particular, you were still afraid to fart in front of me. And so I would push on your stomach and scream, fart, 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 fart.
Oh my god.
To make you fart.
That was up there. That was actually up there for me.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that one. Because there's one that kind of stood out more to me.
Okay.
And the reason why I asked that question earlier, too, is because it's not a singular thing that happened. It was like a long-term, like a series of experiences. And honestly, it was all the times that we would just like go hang out and watch shows in the garage.
Oh, sitting and watching shows in the garage.
Yeah, like we would just go hang out for like a whole day, and we would like, it would be cold out, and we'd like go into the garage and we'd like plug the heater in because it was like during like late
put
fall
the blankets
or winter.
on our
We'd wrap the blankets around each other. We'd like hang out and relax, and we'd like watch Ghibli movies, or we'd watch anime.
Scary stuff.
We watched through a couple of shows.
We watched at least Over the Garden Wall like that.
We watched Over the Garden Wall. We watched a bunch of Crypt TV like that. Like when I first got introduced to Crypt TV.
Yeah.
We watched a bunch of Steven Universe that way.
Avatar.
Oh, Airbender. Oh, no, you know what? Honestly, like all of that, but like Airbender and Korra, that was when it was the biggest to me. Like that was like I got to share something that was like genuinely one of the most enjoyable series I've ever watched, and I got to like share that. Like I've seen Avatar. I had heard of Korra. I had never seen Avatar all the way through. I missed most of book 2 because I just watched it whenever it was on, out of order on Nickelodeon, and I knew it was neat. But I had never really gotten a chance to experience it, and then experience Korra afterwards, and like. Those were, like, I had never been in a situation where, like, someone was like, oh, I want to sit down and, like, walk these through with you because I think you would like them.
Right.
And you, like, made a point to be like, I think this is something you would enjoy. I want to share this with you. And it was something that was super important to you, too. So it was like we were kind of, like, sharing that memory together. And it was just like, it was like the ultimate tourist thing. It was like we were cozy, we were warm, we were watching good shows, we were spending time with each other. It was just the comforts of home. And like, the comforts of home don't have to be like a big fancy thing. It's like we sat in a cold garage surrounded by dusty tools.
And watched anime.
And just fucking had the time of our lives. Yeah. That was the point where I was like, I could do this for the rest of my life, and it would be pretty great.
I feel like that was also Percy's favorite.
That must have been Percy's favorite. I think that's how we bonded too, because he would like always be climbing on me when we were in the garage too. I think he was like, yeah, like it was kind of him getting used to the fact that I was around all the time, and then I think it like he kind of slowly got used to it, and now he just comes and sees me all the time.
Yeah, he loves you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's very sweet.
That's my son.
He's your son.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next question.
Let's go.
And I want to try and make these faster so we don't leave them with dead air.
Sure, yeah. Don't do brutal ones.
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
This one's much more light.
Oh, do whatever you want. I mean, that was a fucking great question.
Your partner has a day off in an empty house all to themselves. How are they going to spend their day?
Oh, man.
For you, I know exactly what you're going to do. Ah. And then for me, I always find myself answering for me way faster than for me.
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. I never actually think of myself until afterwards.
It's okay. I know what I'm doing for me.
Yeah. What? I don't know.
Done.
Okay, cool.
All right.
You go first, right?
I will go first.
You're next. What do you got?
For you. You have the day off all to yourself in the empty house alone for the whole day.
Yeah.
I think you're going to watch Critical Role, take a nap, or plan D&D. Or all three.
Yes. For sure. I specifically put plan D&D and play lo-fi.
Yeah, there you go.
And the only reason why I put that is because Critical Role is what I typically do when I have that. Like, if I have the house to myself, if you're not home, I will play Critical Role on the TV. But mostly I just plug my headphones into my Switch and I watch it on my Nintendo Switch. I would do it on my phone, but my phone's headphone jack doesn't work. It's an old phone, whole big thing. But Critical Role is something that eventually I'm going to catch up on. And it's like,
what are you going to do with your days off after that?
I'm always going to be planning D&D. I'm always going to be listening to lo-fi because that is just, like, it's just...
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have time to plan a whole new campaign after that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, yeah, that's why I'm trying to, like, grind to catch up so hard. Because if I catch up on Critical Role...
I've promised people a campaign for October.
Hell yeah. We're going to make it happen. But yeah, that's definitely what I would do.
You wrote?
Yeah, and currently, like, the other thing, if I'm not planning D&D, I'm watching Critical Role. So, yeah, you are 100% correct.
All right. Your turn.
What
do you think I'm doing on my day off?
I said you would put on a playlist of your favorite songs on Spotify, or you would put on just a running through of podcasts that you're listening to at the time, whether it was like the Smoshcast or Ear Biscuits, or any of the ones you're listening to now. You'd either put on music or a podcast, and you would just do character art all day.
Yep.
Yep.
I wrote drawing, watching YouTube, or scrolling through TikToks.
TikToks was the other one. I probably should have put that down too. But like, if you had like whole house to yourself, you don't have to worry about anything. I feel like you create your atmosphere, you put on your background noise, and you just go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much.
You just enter this sort of zen.
Just go for it.
Absolutely.
You got both of those correct.
We know how each other likes to be lazy.
Okay. Next one. You have to get rid of one of your partner's things, regardless of whether they want to get rid of it or not. What are you going to get rid of?
You have to get rid of one of your partner's things.
And I'd have to say it's like an important thing. You can't be like, oh, like, they're garbage. Like, you have to get rid of one of their, like, things.
Oh, no. That means I have to drag you on something. I have an important question, and this doesn't have bearing on anything. And I will be very non-specific so that it doesn't draw any trouble.
Okay.
Does it have to be a thing, or can it be a person?
It has to be a thing.
God damn it. Well, there goes my answer.
It has to be a thing I possess that you're going to get rid of.
All right.
And I have to get rid of something of yours.
Because if it was a person, I'd already have my answer down.
And then you have to write down what you think the other would get rid of for you.
Okay. So what do I think?
What do you want to get rid of? What do you think I'd get rid of for you? And what would I get rid of yours?
I have to get rid of something that you own. What is it?
I know what I'd do for you. What do I think you'd get rid of mine?
What would I get rid of your things?
He's looking around the room. He's trying to pick.
I'm like staring around the room like, what the fuck what do I get rid of? Like, I have to get rid of something.
Yeah. You have to get rid of something of mine.
Jesus. Also, I have to think about what I think you would get rid of mine.
I'm done.
She's already decided. Jeez.
I think I know what you'd get rid of mine. Even though I might be wrong. I just have a feeling.
That's what I think. But what would I get rid of yours? Jeez. That's so hard. Such a complicated question. No. What do I think that you think I'm going to pick? I know what it is.
You know what it is?
I think so.
Okay. It's your turn to go first, so. Once you're done typing it out, let her rip.
Okay. So I said, if you could pick any one thing of mine to get rid of, it would be my box that's full of a pile of magic cards that's on the floor.
Okay. I said that I would sell all of your extra magic cards.
Yeah, because I have literally a box full of, like, garage dampened, like,
cards.
Kind of old cards. They're still, like, in decent condition. They're playable. They're just kind of dusty.
Well, that's why I wrote that I would sell. I wouldn't get rid of them.
Yeah.
I would just,
they're
like,
valuable.
Boom, like, I'd get rid of them, but I'd, like, hand them to a dude at a pawn shop. Not at a pawn shop, you know, like where they sell magic cards. And I'd be like, how much are these worth? And whatever they told me, I'd be like, cool.
Yeah. But that's the other thing, too, is that, like, because the problem is that, like, I got those cards, like, as a gift from a friend. Thank you.
Well, there are more than just those.
Well, it's more than just those.
There's like 3 bags down there. I'm talking all the bags.
Yeah, and a lot of the majority of those after my because I actually had a bunch of my most valuable cards stolen from my car, like
last year.
Like close to like 8 months ago. So that sucked. But I had a bunch of like extra other cards that I was kind of using to like help rebuild my collection, and like I was gonna put them somewhere, but we don't really have a great place to put them in the room. And then I kind of just put them in a box, and then I'm like, oh, but I'll still use these. And then I really didn't use them for anything really. So now it's kind of getting a little bit unwieldy.
Well, because I put them all on his side of the bed. I'm like, you can deal with that. So now he can't walk on his side of the bed.
That is correct.
Okay, so
yeah, magic cards for sure.
I think you'd get rid of mine.
Yeah, what do I think?
What do I think you'd get rid of for me? Because I guessed for you guessed what I thought, and I confirmed it.
Yeah, so you're guessing what I thought you would get rid of mine, right?
It's magic cards. I would get rid of your magic cards. Now I'm guessing what you would get rid of mine.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know yet.
You didn't do it?
No, I did my stuff twice.
You did your stuff twice?
I lost the point of the question.
Oh my goodness.
It's the ADD, baby. Hold on. Let me think about it real quick. You're correct, but let me think about what mine is real quick.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Am I
You're
good?
You're
what?
good.
What the fuck do you have that you don't need?
So many things in this room.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if that's true.
Well, then again, I throw things out so much more than you do.
You do. You do a very good job of that.
I literally am like, I'm gonna clean this room out, and I just pick up a bunch of my shit and throw it in a trash bag and chuck it.
Fuck.
You have to throw one of my things in the trash right now. What are you picking?
I have to throw what? I don't want to throw any of your stuff in the trash. You didn't do anything.
The questions.
You've done nothing wrong. I'll
give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Got it.
What'd you pick? Or I'll tell you what I think you picked.
Yeah, what do you think I picked?
I said that you'd probably throw away, like, my shelf of stuffed animals.
I would not throw away your shelf of stuffed animals. Those are adorable.
I love them, but also, like, they just sit on my desk.
I would throw away a specific stuffed animal.
What one?
That's what I answered. Which one do you think I would throw away?
Don't throw away Pastel.
Which one is Pastel
The
again?
one that I made.
The really creepy looking fucking deer-headed voodoo doll monstrosity?
That I made, and I love.
Yeah, a beautiful creature that you made. It is so exciting. Yeah, it is literally putting a curse on us.
What?
It is a nightmare creature.
I love him.
It's really so cute.
I love Pastel.
Yeah, like, I mean...
Go get him for me.
Oh god, he's fucking corrupted. He's like fucking possessed. There's a little bit of Lucifer in that.
No.
Yes, there is. He has fucking like gangly, long, fucking weird shaped legs. He has horns, like elk antlers made out of.
Did you?
Yeah, he's got elk antlers made out of a different fabric.
Yeah.
He's got like all stitched together in the seams everywhere. He's got 2 different colored eyes. He looks like Slender Man fucked an elk. Like
he's so cute. He's got these little fawn ears.
Listen, he is objectively cute in a creepy way. He's also the most possessed thing that we own.
But I made him.
I know you did, and you did such a good job, and he's so adorable. He is absolutely cursed.
Well, he's never going anywhere. I'm giving him to our children.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be your stuffed animals. It would be one in particular.
The one that I made.
The one that, like, that's the thing is, like, if I had to throw something of yours away, you don't really have anything that, like, it's
he
desperate.
Sits.
Yeah, he does sit really long and stares at you like he's some sort of fucking, like, he's like a fucking archdevil. He's like a fucking, like, he's like a zombie messenger from hell.
Well, now he didn't have anything against you until now.
Well, listen, it's nothing personal. It's just, you know, why are you like this, you know?
I made him this way.
You did make him this way. He was forged in your image.
Made out of 2 of my shirts.
A true Gemini. Oh, yeah, I really liked this shirt.
Not anymore, I guess.
Well, I mean,
you can sit over
like
here
I
with
said,
me and stare
he
at Ken.
still looks cool. He's just demonic in nature. That's all. It's not a big
Maybe I'll
deal.
try and take a picture of him and put him on the title card.
Yeah, that sounds funny.
Okay.
Big fan of that. So they can all see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's
awesome.
fucking possessed.
Write it in the comments if you think he's cute. Okay. Next question.
Or agree with me.
No. Don't write that. What is your partner's worst habit in your opinion?
Oh, boy.
I have to guess what you think my worst habit is.
They were just remixed versions. They were bad. Even then, I still look fondly upon all these games, even if they weren't that great. They give you fairly authentic portable tech from this franchise. Like Mega Man.
And what do I think?
The only exceptional make. This fighting game, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct.
I know what I think you would pick for me.
Fighting games don't more like things where you.
But now I have to pick what I think your worst habit is.
I mean, this gave you a Street Fighter 2 like experience on the go, but I just feel like you had way better options.
Your worst habit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have an interesting one.
Okay.
No, there's not much to these versions. They're the fighting games on the Game Boy. Or the attempt, but they just aren't what the Game Boy's good at. Like puzzle games or the Game Boy's.
Okay, I got it.
We have Tetris.
I need one more second for mine.
Tetris Blast. Tetris
Pastel, bring up the vibe.
Kicks is great here.
He cannot. He is
Entertain
incapable
the
of bringing
people.
up the vibe.
Entertain.
He is only capable of absorbing the souls of innocence.
So cute though. Look at that, isn't that creepy? I'm twisting his head.
In black and white. It's the future yesterday. Baseball 2000.
I wonder if I can hear Ren's TV.
I wonder if I feel like there is a part of there's a non-zero chance that you can hear the YouTube video playing in the
I'm
background.
gonna get a copyright strike.
Oh no!
It's
I
fine.
really hope we don't.
We don't get paid for these.
Balloon Kid, a sequel to Balloon Fight. Perfect fit for this stage.
You ready?
Gameplay? Space Invaders? Yeah, sure, it's great. The Game Boy may have had a lot of well.
That's seems like a condensed way. I'll have to explain that, but
That's
that seems
fine.
like a condensed way to mention it. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Are you going first or am I?
You went first, so me next. Yep.
Okay. So what do you think what do you think I wrote for your bad habit?
What do I think you wrote?
Yeah.
So I'm saying what I think you wrote down as my bad habit.
Yes.
I wrote that you think I am too easily distracted by my phone or other things.
That is not wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not what I wrote.
Because I am like there have been like a number of times where like I will be like glued into my phone and like something happens and I'm like, oh shit, and I zero in on that, and then you'll like have a conversation with me and I'm just like, huh?
What?
Yeah, because I'm just like I'm lost in the sauce.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong, but
It's not
is
that.
what I
I'm
wrote.
curious. I wonder what else it could be.
I wrote that I think your worst habit
Yeah.
is overthinking things to the point where you're unknowingly amping up bad vibes.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Like, sometimes you'll either hear bad news or think something isn't right, and you'll
Yeah.
amp it up, worrying about it to the
Yeah.
point where it becomes bad.
I don't know where that's from. Like, there's got to be something that came from.
I think it mixes with your, like, ability to hype, and it's also mixed with a little bit of, like, some other things from, like, your past where people must have made you worry about things in particular.
Yeah, I
But
have
it's
a
like-
lot of inborn anxieties, I think.
It's like when you have, when you read bad things on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, you'll tell me about them, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's stupid. I can't change that.
Yeah.
I'm not involved in it.
Right.
I guess I could, like, run out into the street and try and stop it, but that's not going to happen, so I'm not going to worry about that right now.
Sure.
And you're like, let me tell you this 5-page long thing about this, because I'm going to hyperfixate on this for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm like, if you could stop that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't say that to you because I don't want to, like, invalidate how you feel about these things.
Sure.
And I need to let you.
Well, it's also like kind of a bad habit, right? Like, I do it, like, I get hyperfixated on it because, like, I like feel super strongly about it,
right.
And then I don't have any place to
put
properly analyze or like allocate that, so I just kind of like hype myself up into like what is the worst possible scenario that comes from this thing, and then I'm just like, well, now I'm stuck in it, when it's like I could just like wait and see what happens and not like freak the fuck out about it.
That's a big place where you and I differ, where I'm like, okay, well, let's see how this develops, because especially in things where like if there's controversy with a figure of any kind.
Yeah, like a character or like a individual.
Yeah,
that we both
you
like.
jump on it immediately. And you're like, wow, like what a piece of garbage. And then like the next day they're like, allegations proven false, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, he didn't actually say that. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I definitely like I'll just see things pop up, and then like I'm not very good at having the patience to filter things.
Right.
Like, I will see something and I was like, oh, fuck, that happened. And then I jump right into, like, the social media commentary about it, which typically, like, 9 times out of 10, if you're looking at social media's response to a thing, it's just kind of immediate gut reactions to the, like, the frame of the thing that is happening in that moment.
Right.
And, like, it takes me forever to, like, dig up the nuance of, like, different situations and be like, oh, okay, so like here's how the whole situation went down, and I just kind of like I like spiral into the negativity of the immediate.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is, and I'm not saying that's like a bad thing or that I've never done that.
Yeah.
But you have a tendency to do that a lot if something big happens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's just give it a day.
It's the hype. It goes both ways.
Yeah. Well,
I get amped up about shit. But
I'm not particularly animated.
Sure.
And I
it's
feel...
my Aries moon.
Right. So if I'm not being, like, up and amplified and, like, talking about things and, like, especially if you're already doing it to a different topic.
Yeah.
And I'm not reacting to you in the way you think I should be, like you're reacting. Then you're like, are you angry at me now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. You're like, are you sure? Because it seems like you're angry now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not angry now. I just don't care.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay. And then, like, I'll continue on like that and not change how I'm acting. And you're like, no, you're mad.
Yeah.
And so it has, like, a lot of different side effects where I'm like, it's like, I understand why you do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do it too. It's like a perfectly normal thing to do. It's
just,
I just don't think it's always healthy.
That's fair.
Okay.
So now,
my guess.
Your guess.
What
yeah.
you thought was.
Yep. What do you think?
You think is my worst trait?
Yeah.
Yeah, worst habit.
Worst habit. Yep.
Is I said that I think you think my worst trait is my irritability and anger, or my vaping.
Your vaping is like, the way I see it is like you used to smoke a lot of cigarettes.
A lot of
and
cigarettes.
Then now you just vape and you don't really do it that often. Like, I feel like in general, like, it's a hell of a lot better than it was. Like, I'm not going to sit there and knock it. Like,
right.
and like you've even said, like in the cases where that becomes an issue, like if we were to think about having kids in the future, you're when you say you're gonna do something, you mean it. You are not a person who like you don't like mince words or sidestep things. You do what you say. And you were like, oh yeah, like the second that like I start thinking about having kids, I'm just gonna stop.
Right.
And like I know you will. So I'm like, I'm not concerned about it.
Right.
It's not it's not something that, like, I think you're going to take to an excess that it becomes, like, dangerous for your health. I mean, it already is dangerous.
Not great
yeah,
for
it's
my
not good for your
health,
health, but it's like, I don't think you're gonna just, like, spiral into worse and worse.
I'm not vaping so much, I'm, like, coughing.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever. But I thought that might be something.
That is not what I picked.
Okay, what'd you pick?
Hilariously enough. Your anger, I don't really think you have as much of an anger issue as you think you do. I think you're a very cold seethe kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
You get mad about something and you just kind of like sit in it.
Mm-hmm.
I put, and it hilariously it ties into kind of what you said. I put your sort of your worst habit is your like neutral starting perspective on everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you are so neutral good.
Yeah.
Like, you are a good person at heart and you want the best for people and you try to make the best for people. But when it comes to like, oh, this like thing is happening and here's what it could potentially mean, and like, here's why this has a potential, like, especially when it comes to something like, oh, like we're reading something in politics and I'm like, this happened and that's like a big deal because of this, and this, and I get super animated about it and you're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just went through like 8 minutes explaining why this is like a cornerstone thing that's happening in our real world right now, and
right.
You're like, eh.
Well, I feel like those moments also lead to a lot of those times where, especially if you're like theorizing something.
Yeah.
You're like, this could be like a big thing. Like, this could be like a big theory of like something that's happening.
Yeah, or it'd be like, yeah, like something
and,
in a show. Like, I'll be like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Like, what do you think?
That
this
means
is
nothing.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that but it's like you have such a neutral perspective, but your neutral perspective goes to the point where it's like if there's like very obvious and it's also when it comes to like shows and like video games and like D&D especially, I'll be like, hey, so like what do you think about this? Because I dropped a blatant hint during
something.
This is hypothetical. I dropped a blatant hint during a Friday night game, and I'm like waiting for someone in the party to pick up on the hint, and no one has, and I have you here. So I'm like, oh, so what did you think about that? And you're like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? I literally slapped you in the face with this obvious plot hook. What are you going to do about it? And you're like, we'll see. I'm like, fucking, like,
give me something.
Give me something to work with. And it goes a lot of way. Like, I also feel like your anger ties into it too, because I feel like you do get, like, there are things that you do get very, very angry about. I just don't tend to see you, like, changing anything about the way you approach it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get angry about something, and I'm like, yeah, that really sucks. You should say something about it. And you're like, fuck them. They're just going to be the way they are anyway. I'm not going to deal with it.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but or you could fucking tell them it was a problem for you, so that it doesn't keep happening. Because one of the things I do find is that like people will like do something shitty to you, and then you're like, I'm pissed about this, and I'm like, cool, tell them they shouldn't be shitty to you, and you're like, I can't tell them what to do. I can't control what they do. They're gonna do their own thing. If they want to be a fucking idiot, they can be a fucking idiot. And I'm like, yeah, they're gonna keep doing it to you though. It was work. Not your fault.
Right.
But
there was nothing really to be done.
There was nothing to be done about it. They were going to do it regardless of whether you said anything or not.
And I needed money.
But I was always...
I still do.
Yeah, but I was always so, like... obviously not off-put. Like, it doesn't matter that much. But, like, I was always, like, so, like, flabbergasted that I'd be like, that's really fucked up. You should say something about it. And you're like, eh.
Well, no, because I would fight back and forth with them.
Yeah.
It was different because I dealt with them for years.
Yeah.
And I'd fought back and forth with them a bunch.
Sure.
You weren't with me when I was at work. Like, they'd accuse me of things or tell me I did things, and I would push back with them all the time. Because otherwise they just walk all over me, and because they're basically, like, in charge of me at that point.
Sure, yeah.
So it's different. It's not somebody who's on my level, where I have no control of them and they have no control of me.
Right, and I understand that.
They basically have me in their grasp. So I have to try and fight back as hard as I can before I get crushed.
Right.
There's like an actual threat to me.
Right.
So I would push back as much as I could. You're like, oh, you should like go into like the higher ups, and you would, and they just would finagle it so that nothing would happen to them.
Well, yeah, sure, but it's like
we've put so many different, like, when I started working there the first time,
Yeah,
I put so many, like, complaints into corporate and, like, health, like, places and, like, everything, and nothing worked.
I understand it was the particular of that thing. I just find that it happens in general. Like, there will be, like...
Most times when I've pushed back at people for things that they do, nothing changes. Sometimes people are just the way that they are, and sometimes things are just going to stay the way they are.
Yeah, I get it from your perspective. It's like, it's very the opposite for me. Mm-hmm. Like, if someone does something, it doesn't matter if it's never changed. I do fundamentally understand that it's not going to change. I just, for me, I feel better if I know that I told you how I feel about it. Like, I'm not going to be the kind of person where, like, at work, someone's going to come up to me and be like, hey, like, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and, like, you're basically, like, surprised you get to be my marionette for the day. And, like, I'm not the kind of person that's just going to go home and be like, oh, I can't believe they did that. Well, like...
It's time to go back tomorrow.
Yeah, like, I'm going to be the kind of person that's just like, hey, I don't like how you talk to me, and I don't like how you treat... And, and the thing is, like, I'm not a very aggressive person. So, like, I'm not the kind of person that's going to do it. I'm animated, but I'm not aggressive. I'm not going to go up to someone's face and say it. But I'm the kind of person that's going to turn around and be like, hey, talk to my coworkers about it. Like, should I go to a higher up about this? Like, I want to at least make someone aware of my situation and where I'm in. Like, that is close to the situation.
Well, also, I think...
so that it's at least an understood...
The thing is, too, is I just don't have a lot of... Like, for one, I'm fairly neutral, mainly because it's just my mental stance. But also, like, I don't have a lot of energy. And I know that when you try and push back at, like, people about things, especially if they're important things, which I don't normally get really mad unless something's important.
Yeah.
If I like, push back and I'm like, hey, I didn't like how you did this, I'm starting a fight.
Yeah, but, like...
No, I am. If I push back, if I care about enough about something to push back, I'm starting a fight. And I have to then prepare myself mentally to put in effort and, like, perseverance into this argument.
Sure.
And if I don't have that in myself to do it, it's not happening.
Yeah, I understand that.
Like, I can sit here and cold seethe forever because it takes no energy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Interacting with human beings, especially in an aggressive way,
that's not really that much
takes
of a problem.
so much energy.
Sure, understandable.
So, that's why, especially when people are like, are you mad at me? It's like, if I tell you that I'm not, like, or if I tell you if I was mad at you, you would know.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is it like it's not like, I don't see it as like a character flaw or anything crazy
it's
like that.
It's my worst habit.
I just don't. Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, it couldn't be me.
Well, especially because I internalize a lot of those things. Yeah. Then I take it upon myself to just like to take all of that and be like, it is how it is. Leave it alone.
Nah. Couldn't be me. And that's the thing too, is that, like, because of that, like, I know that you just kind of, like, you'll sit and you'll stew in it. Mm-hmm. So, like, if we're like, and like, I one of the things I do notice is, like, when you are, like, processing something like that in that way, you tend to, like, you'll retreat into yourself a little bit, you'll get a little quiet, you'll just kind of, like, seethe silently on your own. And so if I notice you, like, being really quiet when, like, you weren't quiet before, or if you're just, like, kind of, like, isolated in on yourself, like, if you're just sitting watching TikToks with phone glued up close to your face, sometimes I'll look at that and I'll read it as, like, oh, she's, like, mad about something, but I'm not sure what it is.
Right, but sometimes it's just how I am.
And I have enough problems with, like, certain social cues as it is that sometimes I'll read that as, like, oh, she's mad, what did I do? But it's not, and that's why I'll ask you, like, 5 or 6 times, I'm like, are you okay? Like, are you actually mad? Because I'm reading it as, like, oh, is there something that I missed?
Well, that's
like,
the
am
thing,
I being a huge dick because I missed something?
No, because that's the thing. Yeah. If you were, I'd say something. Sometimes...
Right. Like, and I should be smarter about that, because you do.
Because that's also how I process things that I don't think are big enough to fight about.
Yeah.
If I'm like, okay, this thing really annoyed me, but also I know I'm fucking dramatic...
Sure. Yeah,
then I'm going to sit here and cold seethe, and eventually I'll fucking get over it. Okay. And you just need to leave me alone. Not you, but, like, generally you. Like, and you just need to leave me the fuck alone. Like, because that's the thing, too, is I think we process anger really different.
Oh, for sure.
You need to, like, confront it and, like, get it out of your system and, like, talk about it.
Yeah.
And I need to be left the absolute fuck alone.
I just need to not deal with it. Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I woke up this morning and I was really grumpy, and you were, like, trying to, like, pet my back, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Throughout the day, I was like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
But, like, because that's the thing, is I don't dislike you petting me.
Yeah.
But I was just, like, not in the mood for it.
Because you were, like,
and I'm not gonna
half asleep, and you're like, do not distract
stop touching me. And the only thing that and the only two options I have is deal with it and leave it alone.
Sure.
And everything's fine, and I'll get over it. Because it's not that big a deal.
Right.
Or let it get to me because I have anger issues.
Sure.
And snap at you and make you think I hate you, and then you'll stop touching me and you'll turn over and you'll be sad, and then that's a whole fight. And that's my options for every single time I get heated about something.
Yeah.
It's either...
So that's why you kind of, like, you're like, I just gotta, like, isolate.
It's all my energy or none.
Yeah.
I
got you.
Like, I have to put all of my energy into it and fight about it if it's pissing me off.
Sure.
And then majorly regret it. Most of the time.
Fair.
Or just deal with it. And eventually it's gonna be fine.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, that's like, definitely not how I, like, am capable of handling things.
I have to.
But that is really interesting, yeah.
It's just how I have to deal with things. It's either I'm fighting you or you're gonna leave me alone, and then things will be okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, yeah, that was a long time for that question, huh?
That was a good question, though. I think that was a really interesting one. It's hard to have a frank discussion about your bad habits, you know?
It's not that hard as long as you're, like, not going to take it really personally.
Well, that's what I think. I feel like
lots of people
would take it personally, yeah.
We've done that before. We've talked about a lot of things that we, like, not dislike, but, like, that we think are weird about
they were
each
like,
other.
why do you do that? And that's the thing, is it's the process of learning how to live with another person, you know? Like, we live in the same room.
Well, that's like, when we first moved in together, you were, like, terrified of me being angry at you. And
yeah, because I'm like, what do I do? Like, where do I go?
And I was like, just stay here. Just be here. You're fine. Like, I'm like, there's no way we will ever live in a room together, in a house together, near each other, be friends with each other, or, like, anything close together, and I'll never be mad at you.
Right.
That's psychotic.
Of course.
I'm like, if I don't get mad at you ever, that's when you should be worried, because something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get mad at each other, and it's gonna happen, and just do your thing. Leave me alone. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that, like, I feel like whenever something like that happens, I have to, like, I'm like the bandage person. I'm like, oh God, like something happened, I have to fix it right now, and then I feel like I get into, like, smother mode trying to fix it, when what I really need to do is just be like, oh, okay, she's processing something, I gotta take a step back and do my own shit.
Yeah.
Which that's something that I'm working on.
I think that's one of our biggest things.
For sure.
That was, like, one of our biggest things in our relationship in the beginning.
Yeah.
Was we didn't fight very much, and we still don't.
Yeah.
But I think especially we used to fight more and not even by a lot. We never fought a lot.
Yeah.
But we fought more.
We
after our honeymoon phase.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just because at that point we'd start to have, like, an argument here and again. And it only got escalated because we dealt with anger differently. And I need you to leave me alone. And you need to fix it right now, right here. Like, make sure it's cool and, like, smooth it over. And we didn't really realize that we had to process those things, like, that way until we, like, moved in together.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Well, when we had the conversation about how we process things differently. And I think we've been getting better at it.
I think so, too. Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that comes along with, like, learning to
live with somebody else.
Share space with another person for an extended period of time. It's like you learn the little nuances of their personality. Also,
not fighting a lot doesn't give us a lot of time to practice that.
But. That's true, yeah. We have to fight more to the death.
That's your worst.
We do have swords.
Yeah, fight to the death with swords.
We could do it.
I call the real sword.
That feels like cheating, but it is your sword. So I don't think I have a...
Both the swords are mine. I could claim them both.
I
and the bat and the stick.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
On principle.
Okay.
But
let's get to another question.
Okay.
Okay. Where is it?
How many are we doing, by the way?
Oh, I have a fuckload. We've done 6 out of like so many.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if we had like a hard cutoff. We'll cut it off when it seems reasonable.
Yeah. What's a surefire way to get on your partner's nerves?
A surefire way to get on your nerves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what's the one thing you could do that you know will make me irritated?
What do I think you're going to answer for that?
I think I know what you would answer for me. But what do I think I could do that I know would make you irritated? What have I done in the past that's made
And then
you irritated?
what do I think? Like what irritate? What do you do that immediately sets off a button?
No matter what.
Yeah. Ooh. What do you? It's complicated. I don't tend to get like angry often.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
It's kind of a hard one. It has to just be something that like just annoys me.
Yeah, something that would immediately make you not happy with me.
Yeah.
Well, not even with me, but what's something that I know immediately gets on your nerves? What's a surefire way to get on your partner's nerves? Eh?
I got it. Okay.
Okay. I'm good.
Who's going first?
I don't know who went first last time, so I'll just go first this time.
Oh, I think it was. I went first, so you go first.
Okay. So I'm gonna guess what you think.
You're
irritates
gonna
me.
guess what I wrote down for what irritates you. Yeah.
Okay. I wrote that what I thought you wrote for me was being late, or when you crawl out of the house at a snail's pace. Like, I'm ready to go, and
Oh yeah. See, I forgot about that one because
because I've tried not to be as bitchy about it lately.
And also I don't even think about it. Like I just.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like I gotta do a couple things before I go, I just do it. I don't. It's just not in my mental capacity to consider like, oh, you're ready, great. Like I still got shit to do. Like I don't think about it.
Well, of course, because I'm sitting here staring at you, going, "Hey, I warned you 15 minutes ago to be ready by now."
Oh, wow, you really shouldn't have gotten that ready that fast. I still had stuff to do. Like,
hey, that's fucking weird. I said I wanted to leave at 5. It's 5:15, and you're still in your underwear reading a D&D book? Maybe get ready.
that is an over dramatization.
Only by a little.
Most of the
thing.
time, you're like, I wanted to leave by 6, and it's like 5:58, and all I have to do is get my shoes on, and you're like waiting in the hallway, like, come on, let's go, and I'm like, I have 2 minutes.
No.
Like, I feel like more recently that has been the situation where you're like I said we were gonna leave by 5 and it's 4:58 and I'm like great for you, I'm gonna pee, like yeah
Well, because I have a timeline and I
right.
let you know in particular.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
what do you actually write?
put being late.
Being late.
Yeah. Yeah, being like especially specifically like being late to like if I say, hey, I'm going out, I'll be back home at like 9 tonight, and then I like
and then it's
don't
2.
and then it's like 11:30 or 12 and I like didn't message you, or I like message you at 11 when I said I was going to be home at 9. I'm like, hey, sorry, it's running a little late.
You
and you're like, what the fuck? I've done that a couple times. times.
Not to my recollection.
Hell yeah, I have a specific memory of a time I did that.
Okay.
When Jared came down from Maine and we all went to go play cards, and I said I'd probably be home around 10, and then I got Jared home at 10 o'clock, and then we were just like catching up and shooting
But
the
I
shit.
wasn't that mad at that point because you actually told me.
Yeah, but that was the thing, is that like then like I said I was gonna be home by I was gonna
That's probably
be
why I didn't remember being angry about it.
home by 11, yeah, and then like it was like 11:45, and I'm still sitting in my car in his parking lot, and I'm like, and then I texted you, and I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna be a little later, not sure when I'll be home. Me and Jared are just reminiscing, and then we just kind of did that for a little while, and yeah, but that was the thing, is that like that I've tried to do that more recently because you've expressed to me like, hey, if you're gonna be later than you originally said, please let me know, so I'm not sitting here like wondering what the fuck is going on.
Well, that's the thing too, is
I've tried to be better.
I don't think it's actually being late that irritates me.
It's the not filling you in on what's going on.
It's not being considerate of my time.
Right, reasonable.
And I think that's also why I wrote being sluggish getting out of the house.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, we have 20 minutes till we need to be going. So I'm gonna like get my stuff together. You don't have to yet, but I'm letting you know I'm
Right.
concerned about our timeline.
Right.
I'm gonna start getting ready.
Right.
You're like, okay. I'm like, hey, it's 10 minutes until we gotta leave. Maybe you should start doing your stuff. Because we need to be leaving in 10 minutes.
Sure.
That's the timeline.
Sure.
And you're like, sure. And then it's 2 minutes before, and you're like, I still need to get my book bag together, pee, put on my shoes, put on my pants. And I'm like, cram it into the next 5 minutes then, because we need to leave!
That's pretty fair.
I've been ready to go!
Yeah, I don't know. I march to the beat of my own drums, baby.
But that's the thing, is it's like, it's because I'm considerate of other people's time very carefully.
Yes.
Like,
That's very true.
give swaths of time for people to do things. Like, and Baron makes fun of me of the way that I round time.
Where you're like, oh, like I have to leave by 6, which is basically 5, which is close enough to 4, which is like a little bit before 3, so I basically can't do anything until like after 1 o'clock.
And it's 11, so I can't do anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here until it's time to go.
Yeah.
I have 6 hours, but if I do something, I might do it until past time to go, and then I'm fucked. So.
Yeah, and then fuck.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole.
Yeah, so you just
So I just better not do anything.
Guess I just sit here for 6 hours. Oh, I couldn't do that. I have to cram something into every fucking second of my life.
I know.
This whole morning, I swear to God, when you were sleeping in, and I'm like I was petting your back because I was trying to be like, all right, wake up. Like I was like,
I know.
I didn't know what time you went to bed because I was already asleep.
I went to bed at 11 in the morning.
Yeah, I found out later because I was sitting there like it was like 2, and I'm like, okay, like, hi, nice to see you. Hope you had a good sleep. I need to do something because I was just sitting there and I'm like, I could watch a Critical Role episode, and I'm like, I might start doing that. So I kind of like put one on, and then you started to wake up, and I paused it, and then you like fell back asleep, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I kept doing that.
You're touching my face.
I did at one point because you had a fucking like huge eyelash on your cheek, and I'm like, I gotta get it because it's probably, if she fucking like snores real hard and breathes it in, she's gonna like,
Well, then I'd wake up.
It was like rolling down your face. Yeah, but that sucks. Like I don't want to. So I had to get it. But yeah, no, that was the thing, is that like you'll be doing something, and I'm like, okay, like we have the day off together, we're gonna do something together. Okay, what's happening? And then if you're like still asleep, I'm like, I can't do anything because she's asleep, so I'm gonna sit here and do nothing. Because like, what if I'm in the middle of doing something, and then she wakes up and she's just like, I'm up and I want to spend my day with you, and then I'm like, well, I'm an hour and 40 minutes into a 4-hour episode, so I'll see you in 3 hours, and then I feel like a piece of shit because you're like, you woke up and you're like, oh, time to go, and I'm like, nope. So I just don't do anything because I'm like, if I start something, that's when she's gonna wake up, and then I'm gonna be the asshole.
Nah, I was having a drunk day today.
Yeah, you were pretty sleepy.
I wasn't drunk, but I was very tired.
Yeah, that's why I ended up getting almost.
You have the whole day tomorrow to do stuff together. I thought that's what we were planning on doing tomorrow.
Yeah, but a lot of tomorrow's errands, like.
Yeah, but it's still like quality time.
That's true.
And plus, like, what? It's gonna be like 2 hours. Like, it's a lot of errands that we can take care of in the span of 2 hours.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
And then we have the whole rest of the day.
Perfect. Yeah, you're right. So what do you think my answer was?
What did I think your answer was?
Yep.
I know.
What is the thing that immediately makes me go, ugh?
That is my actual answer. You have to guess.
Oh, right. Duh. What do I think you said? Oh, watching shows without me.
Oh, no. I do know that irritates you.
Yeah.
But that's not what I wrote.
Oh, okay. Because that's like the biggest one, I think, for me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll say
the
something.
biggest
I'm
thing
like,
that
oh, yeah.
irritates you?
I forget what makes me angry. I have no fucking idea.
Being a billionaire or a pretentious fuck.
Even if it's not something you do.
No. Wait, what was the question? It was just something that is... Yeah, it's a way to get on your nerves.
I assumed it was a way you get on my nerves. Not a way that anyone... Yeah, eat the rich. I fucking hate rich people. You don't need $1 billion. You can't spend it.
It just said what's a surefire way to get on your partner's nerves.
Well, yeah, I guess being
Be Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah, being a rich asshole is a great way to make me want to kill you. But, like, that's not...
why I also added being a pretentious fuck. Because I didn't mean, like, a billionaire being a pretentious fuck. I meant, like, just, like, when people, like, make assumptions of, like, your time or, like... when they're, like, just being obnoxious, like, and you can tell that they know they're being obnoxious, but they don't care. Yeah,
that's really true. Or, like, when people are, like, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And that happens a lot. It's not something that I think you do. I think you, in general, are someone who is very, very, like, considerate of my, like, time and energy and the effort that I, like, put into things. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times there are people that, like, bother me about random shit that I'm just like, why are you talking to me? And you do hear me complain about that a lot. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. But I answered it, and I assumed the purpose of the question was, what do you do that is immediately going to press a button for me? Literally the only thing I could think of is when I walk in and you're like halfway through season 1 of a show that's on our show list.
There's so many shows on that list.
And you never ask about them.
Because I'm like, this is probably one that's not on it, because I don't think you know.
You literally can just send me a message. If I'm not home, you can just, like, send me a Facebook message and be like, yo, is this on our list? And that's the thing, it could be on our list, and then if you're, and you can just be like, hey, I was thinking about watching this. If you ask me ahead of time, I may just be like, oh, yeah, that's one I was like, about. You can just watch that. Like, what was a good example recently? When you watched A Silent Voice, that movie. I wanted to watch that with you. I didn't necessarily think I was going to put it highly on my list.
That wasn't on our list.
It was.
It was?
Absolutely.
No, there's something that was on...
That has been on my movie list for over a year.
There's something that was on your list that I watched where you got mad at me for watching it because you said you intended to watch it with me. And I said, well, was it on the list? And you said no. But you wanted to put it on the list. And I was like, that doesn't count.
What was that?
That's why I thought it was A Silent Voice.
No, I don't know. It wasn't A Silent Voice, because Silent Voice was definitely on my list.
I had that on my
because we were going through a bunch of, like, really, really popular and, like, big anime movies by major, like, animators, and that's definitely one of them. So I was like, yeah, it's absolutely on the list, because we were going on a huge anime kick.
Yeah. But that's, like, a thing, too, is, like, that's definitely the fucking worst part of me, is where I'm like, I'm gonna watch a show, and I just, like, want to watch a show, and so I try to pick the show that, like, I don't think is on our list, and so I'll start to watch it. And you're like, oh, well, you could just be like, hey, is this on our list? Can I watch it? And I'm like, I don't want your permission. I just want to watch something. I don't want to have to message you and you're at work and me wait for 3 hours for you to get on your lunch break so I can watch a show.
It's not even about permission. It's literally just, hey, I was thinking about watching this show. Uh-huh. What do you think?
What happens if you don't answer me?
Maybe I don't answer. You can guess it, but you run the risk at that point. Yeah. Like, if I got myself all amped up to be like, yeah, this is a show I think we're both gonna like and I really want to watch it with her, and then you just watch it on your own, it takes all the wind out of my sails immediately.
Yeah.
It
does that to me too.
We've gotten lucky in the sense that you've been pretty good about, like navigating that with me, and like when I get
Burnham's inside.
It was definitely inside. You were a third of the way through inside.
I was not. I was like 5 minutes in.
You were a third of the way in. I got
to White Woman's Instagram,
which is 27 minutes into the hour and 27-minute special. 1/3 of the way through.
Okay.
Yep. I literally remember walking in, seeing the thing frozen at 27:06, and I was like, I thought. And that was what it was, is I hadn't added it to the list yet because it had just come out. But I'm like, of course I wanted to watch this with you.
Yeah, I was like, I just heard about it, so I started watching it because I have Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus at my fingertips and nothing else to do but sit in this house.
Right.
So
and it made sense, and that's the thing is that like I was mad about it at first, and then you were like, let's just start it over and watch it. Yeah. And I was like,
I haven't seen the rest of it. I'm like, it's just like when you watched Avatar. Like, you'd already seen a bunch of them out of order. Let's start it over. What?
Yeah, but so would you.
I'd already seen the whole thing. There are so many different things on our lists that we'd already seen individually that we wanted to share with each other. Yeah. So it's like, that's the thing too.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it really only bothers me with the new shows.
Yeah.
Like if I came home from work in a couple of days and you were just sitting there watching Gravity Falls, which is like now the next show we're watching.
I've already seen all of Gravity Falls.
Yeah, like I don't care at all. If you want to rewatch it, that's totally fine. It's just like when it's a show that we haven't seen together.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're gonna go through this together and we're gonna have like our first reactions at the same time, and I like to share that. And if I don't get to, then I'm just like, and a lot and the thing is, it hasn't happened with you, because you're really, really good about
I've only ever slipped up a few times.
Right, and you're really, really good about when that does happen. You're really, really good about catching me at the level of upset that I am, and being
drawing it back.
Yeah, and you're really good at kind of helping come up with solutions and having a reasonable conversation about it, and then making me feel not bad about it. But there have been times where I have started a show with a person, and then I left for a little, and then I'll come back a week later to go hang out, and then I'll pull up the episodes, and they're 10 more episodes ahead, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this with you anymore. I straight up, here's a great example. I won't mention any names, but Attack on Titan. I actually did watch 3/4 of the first season of Attack on Titan when it first came out, and then it was season 2 was just coming out, and then we stopped watching it for 5 days, and then we came back and they had finished season 1.
Oh my god!
And I was like, I'm not watching this anymore, and they're like, oh, but. No, it gets really good. I'm like, that's great. I'm glad you had a good time with it. I'm not doing this anymore.
We're not watching it together.
Yeah, and I haven't watched it since. I forget most of what happened. I wasn't paying a ton of attention to it anyway.
Plus, it gets crazy. The first season is not the definition of the show.
Right. But that was the thing, is that, that show in particular, I was starting to get really hyped about it, and then the people I was watching it with were just well, I'll just watch it. Well, at least one of them was I'll just watch ahead, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm done.
Well, also, I think I did that. I might have done that with you with Stranger Things.
No, I was ahead of you in Stranger Things.
You were already but you're it was something that we were oh, we could watch it together.
Yeah.
But then you started watching it with a group of other friends.
Yeah.
And you're we could still watch it together, and I was like, no thanks.
Well, yeah, but that was a complicated situation, because at that point I basically had to choose between two people, because that was not immediately after we had started dating did the third season come out.
Yeah.
But
it was in October. I'm pretty sure it came out pretty soon after we started dating.
It might have been pretty soon, yeah. But that was the thing, is that that was something I knew we would both enjoy watching together, but I had already watched the other seasons with that group of people.
I already watched the other seasons with someone else.
Right. Well, that was the thing, is that I had to choose do I keep my the thing I had already planned with these other people, or do I start it with you? And at that point I was it feels kind of shitty to just kind of take the other 4 and throw them under the bus.
Right. Well, the person I was watching with already finished it, so I'm just going to watch it by myself.
Oh, shit. Yeah, well, yeah, because you never actually watched season 3, did you?
No, out of spite.
You should. It's really good.
I will.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I can watch.
It is
one of the things I'm allowed to watch.
You are allowed to watch whatever you want. I just want you to tell me so that I can at least measure my expectations.
It sounds like a lot of how I feel about my time management.
Well, I know.
It sounds a lot about...
You're right.
It sounds a lot like when I'm trying to get ready to go somewhere.
Yeah, just fucking the tire tracks are rolling across my back.
We're gonna fight.
We're gonna. Oh
no, we're not actually.
I don't think we're gonna fight.
No, I just.
Do you want to fight? No. That could be a really interesting podcast, actually.
Fight on the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I was just bringing back the joke from before where we said we needed to fight more.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is how we do it.
We're gonna fight now.
We're gonna fight about this. This is the hill we die on.
Okay. Next, we have to go to another question.
That's it for sure. Oh, I could talk about that forever.
I know.
That's like my biggest fucking pet peeve. Don't like if
starting a show and then like going.
Especially like, oh my god, if it's a show that I'm excited to show you, and then you watch it on your own, I will absolutely lose my shit.
I think I did that with Promised Neverland with one of my friends that you know, that I'm not gonna name.
Okay.
I started showing it to one of my friends, and because we did this thing where we'll show each other shows back and forth.
Right.
We like watched Sailor Moon together.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And then I was like, it was my turn, and so I showed them Dorohedoro, and then it was their turn, so we watched Demon Slayer because I'd already watched it with you.
Right, yeah, you'd watched it fully in English, yeah.
We watched it in English, and then afterwards I was
which
like,
I had never seen,
I'll show you Promised Neverland, and I got to about season 2 with them.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I haven't watched all of season 2 with Ken, so we'll.
Yeah, we only watched like half of it, I think.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait to like watch the rest of it, but me and him can like finish it and then we'll be done. But then the next time I went over their house, they'd already binged all of it.
Oh shit.
With their spouse.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not watching this anymore.
Yeah, neither of us have finished season 2 of that either. No. Yeah,
we don't really want to. We're doing what I'm doing with Game of Thrones and just pausing while it's good.
Yeah, because that's the thing is we have heard a lot of like people say that the ending wasn't very good. For Thomas to no, so yeah, that's it. That's the fastest way to piss me off is if I'm excited about something and I want to show it to you and you're like, oh, I already watched that. I'm like, why the fuck would you do that?
Okay, here's another thing about fighting.
Oh boy. It's really trying to make us fight, is what it is.
If your partner was going to send you to the doghouse, what would it most likely be
sleeping on the
for?
couch?
Yeah, like, that's the thing is, we haven't gotten this angry at each other before.
Oh, God, yeah. No,
I don't think we've ever gotten so angry that we haven't slept in the same bed.
Yeah.
But if you were going to get so mad about something...
Fuck.
That you'd be like, you can't stay here. What would it be for? Unless you think this question is too deep, then we can go to something else.
Well, I mean...
So there's a lot of questions.
No, I think this is a good question. I just don't know...
I just can't really think of anything.
It's complicated. I don't have a good context for this one because we've never gotten to that point. So I would just be guessing. Like I don't have a good.
Okay, it's the next one in line, but I kind of want to skip it just because I think the only thing you could do that would make me so mad that I would have to be like, you can't stay in this room with me for a period of time would be like if you cheated on me. And I don't think
and it's like at that point I wouldn't just be out of the room. Yeah. Like I'd be gone.
You'd be gone
so
for
it's
life.
like so it's like that that's not.
You'd be in the doghouse in hell.
Yeah, there's really nothing. Like there's nothing that's like realistic that I can think of.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that we can skip that one then because that's the thing. I'd just be guessing. I would have no idea.
Okay, so let's try and pick one that's not about fighting anyway.
Sure. Yeah. But that was kind of the theme.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme. Is that's fighting.
Yeah, we're not editing that out.
No, that wasn't a real fart, though. That was my mouth.
I know. Well, I mean, you could have kept up the mystique. It would have been funny.
Okay.
Anyway.
More farts. If you had to pick something...
Welcome to Mouth Fart Sounds, musical stylings of Hannah.
If you had to pick something that your partner says all the time as a catchphrase, what would you pick?
Ooh, what's your catchphrase?
Yeah, if you had to pick... And you can't just be like, oh, it's like fucking... Bingus. It's like it has to be something I say all the time to be my catchphrase.
I mean, yeah, it's like... It's probably Bingus.
It's not Bingus. Unless it's Hooters Bingus.
Hooters Bingus.
Hooters Bingus.
What a long reach meme. Like
right?
that's a bit of a meme. It's a bit of a back.
I was very interested in Hooters Bingus when he first came out.
Adorable creature.
Love Hooters Bingus.
Yeah, look that up. It's mired in layers of internet history, I guess.
So what do I think your catchphrase would be?
What do I think your catchphrase is? That's a crazy one.
I know what your catchphrase would be. What do I think you think my catchphrase would be? I I kicked the mic.
Don't do that.
The spike. Oh, it's spiked.
I mean, yeah, but it spikes pretty loud with our voices too, so it's fine.
Okay.
So that's what I think wait. That's my answer for your catchphrase. Yes, so now I need your answer for my catchphrase. What's my catchphrase?
Oh, I know what your catchphrase is.
You know what my catchphrase is? I don't know what my fucking catchphrase is. Probably have one. But what is it? I'm gonna make a half-assed answer. And it'll probably be right. Because I have no idea. Okay, cool.
Okay. You want to go first?
Sure. What is,
You're guessing what I put down for your catchphrase.
for my catchphrase?
Yeah. You're guessing for my answer for you.
I mean, it's probably just some nonsense about farting.
It is, but
Yeah.
it's in particular.
That's what I put.
Okay.
Just like something about farts.
It's, hey baby, guess what?
Followed immediately by
Followed by a
shitting
fart.
my pants. Oh man, yeah, that's the good stuff.
Because it's the only thing.
Just absolutely airing my bullshit right on the internet.
Because
hello, YouTube.
We're at the point in our relationship where you literally will go, hey baby, guess what? And I'm like, are you gonna shit your pants?
The answer's always yes.
Followed by a fart.
It's never, hey baby, guess what? Check out this cool thing I read. Or like, hey baby, guess what? I love you. It's, hey baby, guess what? Yeah, just.
Or, hey baby, guess what? And then lifting your knee to your fucking face and shitting.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that has to be my catchphrase. I knew it was something about farts, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was either that or me just being like, hey, and you're like, what? And I'm like, poop.
Poop. No, the only
So I'll
other
just
thing
do
I
that.
could think of is when you put your fingers up in the little, like...
Oh, yeah, and I do like the little heavy metal.
Metal.
Yeah, the heavy metal hands.
I don't know how you started doing
I started
that.
doing that when Kaldheim came out, the Magic the Gathering set
Yeah.
with the Norse mythology one.
Yeah.
Because, for all their, marketing and stuff, they were doing, a heavy metal theme.
Yeah.
So, I would, scroll through the cards, and if I saw a card spoiler that was cool, I'd be like, oh, damn, it's pretty metal. And then I just, do it, and then it just kind of stuck, and it became my personality.
Except, hey baby, guess what? Definitely covered.
No, that's the
process.
pinnacle. That's the apex.
You've been doing that for too long. Long enough where I know exactly what's happening every time you say it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know exactly. Sometimes, every once in a while, I like to fake you out.
No, you never do.
Yeah.
I've never had you fake me out.
Sometimes I don't fart.
The only time I've ever heard you not fart
Not for lack of
immediately-
trying.
The only time I've never heard you not fart immediately is when you go, hey baby, guess what? And I go, are you gonna fart? And you pause, and then fart.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's pretty good.
My guess for yours?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think I think is your catchphrase?
The only thing that I could think of is, the Whisperers thing is the only thing I could think of is also, poop related.
Yeah, because we
all
have the humor of a group of 11-year-olds on the playscape.
It's just all the stuff that I call poop, like bears or butt mud. Is the only thing I thought that you would think was a catchphrase for me.
That's fucking hilarious. No, I have a good one.
But whatever it is, I'm holding my arms up, level with my shoulders, with my, forearms pointing down while I say it, because...
Yeah, you do this, this little, goblin
Stance.
kind of stance whenever you say something goofy or ridiculous, yeah. No, you have a definite catchphrase that, it's I'm sharing enthusiasm with you, catchphrase.
Okay.
It happens all the time. I'll start talking about something, and I'll be like, oh my god, and then this happened. or like, and then, oh my god, and guess what? And I'll get really dramatic about it. And then if you're like enthusiastic about it, but like, I'm gonna still be going.
Yeah.
So you're not like, oh, hey, we're gonna talk about it. You're just kind of rolling along with it. It's, hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's me, like, showing praise for what
Yeah.
you're saying, but not contributing so you can continue.
Yeah, because you know that I'm just fucking going, and so you're like, I'm gonna show that like I see why he's excited. I'm right there with him, but I know he's got more. So we're gonna let him know I got it, and we're gonna go on.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that, and I also one that Kyle has caught on to a lot is when I get like silly, like infuriate bunny ears about something, but like I'm being silly. Go beach.
Yeah, you absolutely do. That's another one of your big ones, actually. What do you say? You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Yeah, let's do one more. And then we can
don't talk about it for a long time, but
yeah, right. Yeah, one or two more. If this is a long one, we'll do one.
okay. There's some easy ones that I know I could get off right off the bat of these questions. Like, who's most likely to sleep in late for work? That's me. Who's most likely to get arrested? That's me.
Right. We all know that.
What is this now?
One of them, okay. If you were expecting a baby,
Okay.
who would your partner want to tell first?
Who would I want to tell first?
And then who would I want to tell first? And we're trying to guess for each other.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I think I know who you'd want to tell first.
Yeah. And then who do I think you would want to tell first? Okay. I'm done. Got it.
Okay, well, I have yours. I'm trying to write who I would want to actually tell first. Okay, I got it.
Sick.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
I think it's you. I think you go first on the odd numbered
first?
ones.
Okay.
Yeah. You say, who do you think I
would
think
tell
you
first?
would... No, who... I think it's... Yeah. Who do you think I would tell first? Yeah.
I think you would want to tell Kat first.
That is exactly what I put, because that is who I would tell first.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my family. I wouldn't tell any of them first. They'd know eventually, of course. But,
It'd be hard to explain the child that we have.
Right, yeah, right. But no, I would tell Kat, like, right off the bat. Like, first thing. Like, the second we know, I'd be like, oh my god, so guess the fuck what? Mm-hmm. Just because, like, I know that deep down, like, ever since we have been friends, she has always wanted to be, like, the cool aunt to any and all of my future children.
Right.
And so I do not want her to live another second on this earth knowing that golden opportunity now lay in front of her and all she needs to do is wait.
Right.
Like, I need to give her that. Mm-hmm. That's like, it's like a compact. It's like been a part of our friendship since its very foundation. So yeah, I need her. The first thing I'll do is like, celebrate and be excited that this is something we get to share, and then immediately afterwards I get to be like, hey auntie, what's up?
Yeah, right.
And like just watch her lose her fucking mind about it. Yeah, that's it for sure.
Okay, so you have to guess who I would want to tell first.
Yours I think is a little tougher, because there's a couple of good options.
Yeah, that's what I was struggling with.
Ultimately I think you would choose Erica.
I did write Erica.
Yeah.
I also wrote a close second would be our D&D group.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because we get another player.
Yeah, we have another player.
But also mainly because I'd be like, hey, like, I don't care if I have a baby, we're still doing D&D. Like,
Yeah, right. We will figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're fine with, like, a little bit of crying every here and again and most naps. Because it happens at, like, 8 o'clock. Babies sleep. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
my baby's going to D&D with us, and he can, or she can, or they can roll dice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Baby gets to roll dice.
Yeah,
That'd
baby's
be
a new
fun.
player. Baby's the NPC.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be perfect. Oh, that's adorable. I love that. But yeah, no, I feel like it would be Erica. That just like that like that's the like sisterly bond you two share. Like that would be, of course.
It'd be like Erica very closely followed up by our D&D group and then like the rest of my family.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great answer.
We might have enough time for one more.
I think that was just short enough. I think you actually managed to pick a good one. And then we can round it out with an even 10. We got 10 questions in. I think that's perfect.
Perfect.
So we get one more. You get a bonus round, everybody.
Bonus question.
What do we got?
Something good.
Fire away, killer. Silence.
Well, I mean, I heard a fart sound from the other room. It's funny.
Yeah, they'll probably. I think that everyone who is listening will be serenaded by the copyrighted YouTube material that is playing in the background of the other room.
Okay, this is probably the more interesting one, and it'll leave us on a lighter note.
Sure.
What's something that always makes your partner laugh?
Something that always makes you laugh. Okay. Something that always makes you laugh.
Yeah, something that always makes me laugh. Paper ASMR.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not.
What's something that always makes you laugh? Every single time. It's flawless.
No matter what.
Yes. Excellent. Dude. Beautiful.
Uh.
I want to tell you something. I'm having a great time. Yeah, I want to tell you something. You're the most talented man alive.
Stupid.
Wow. You're alright. No, it's fine.
As for me, what always makes me laugh?
I got it.
Great question. Man seems stronger. Oh my god. Oh, watch out for the scripts. Oh, walk. He's walking along.
Can you hear the Game Grumps in the background?
You might be able to. I was just about to say you might be able to hear it. If so, I hope we don't get copyright struck. No one report us, please. I swear, it's not on purpose.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, I think it's me
Your guess
first,
first,
right?
Yep.
What do I think
Always makes me laugh without fail.
always makes you laugh without fail? For sure, you always crack up at videos of pets doing stupid things or making stupid faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single time. Compilations of just like animals like fucking like charging headlong into walls or
God.
like bonking against glass doors or just like
Rolling down a
having
hill.
like cats with like big like stupid looking grins on their face just like staring at their fucking food or just like generally being doofy.
Oh my god, or that like video Kyle sent me of that one dog that rushes into the 2 bowls of food and like takes 2 big bites of his food. He's like walking all wonky. I think he just like got a surgery or something.
Yeah.
And he grabs 2 bites of his food and then like kicks the bowl over and pushes the other dog out of the way and is eating that dog. Yeah, that shit fucking cracking. Or the bird that's like smacking.
And the bird is
other
always
bird
shaking
in
his
the
ass
fucking
and smacking the other bird in the face with the tail feathers, and the bird just looks like with big wide eyes, like ah.
Yeah, I always tell Kyle that those actually make me like fucking die, and I think he's like I thinks I'm just saying that. I'm always laughing.
Yeah,
you
are literally like rolling every time because it's like animals doing goofy stuff is just so fucking funny to you.
Yeah.
Like deep laugh from within your soul.
Yeah, there's a few. There's like there's a cat I saw while I was watching TikToks earlier that had to get its butt shaved for surgery, and his tail looked like an actual penis. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah, that's your favorite thing in the whole world.
I wrote animals, babies, or farts.
Yeah, no.
Unless the farts make me throw up.
Right, or the animals doing
Or
farts, or animal babies doing farts.
Yeah.
Is like the
Oh my
perfect-
god,
yeah.
so good.
Yeah, baby seals just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those seals that fart. Or that one seal that's going behind the other seal is going, "Arrgh!"
Yeah,
swimming forward.
absolutely.
It's so fucking funny.
Or like the seal that scares itself awake by farting.
Oh yeah, I love that shit.
Adorable.
Oh my god. Okay. I wrote for you
Yeah.
that what I think always makes you laugh no matter what is when I walk to the bathroom like a goblin with my little arm thing.
Uh-huh.
Like I put my arms up and my and my hands down and I stomp to the bathroom and tell you, and especially if I'm telling a story of some kind while I'm walking away to the bathroom.
Right. I put goblin dance.
That's the goblin dance.
Yeah. It's the goblin dance. It's the funniest fucking thing. You'll regularly, like, and it's going back, and, like, you put me on blast, so I'm putting you on blast.
Okay.
But, like, when you were talking earlier about, like, you have, like, funny words for farts, you're like,
Yeah.
I gotta go take the bears out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go release the bears.
Release the bears. So, like, well, when you'll, like, like, you'll be dead quiet, and I'll just be sitting there, like, scrolling through my phone, and you'll, like, get up, and you'll, like, shuffle down, and I'm like, oh, baby, where are you going? And you just got your arms up, your head is, like, pressed in between your shoulders, and you're, like, got this, like, weird grimace on your face, and you're, like, all, like, puffed up like you're a fucking snake. You're just like, I gotta go release the bears, and you go run away. I'm like, that's the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's so hilarious.
Yeah. It's especially since I've started calling poop butt mud.
Yeah, you've been like, I gotta go put mud in the bucket, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, and I'm just sitting there like laughing so hard I have to pee, but then you're in the bathroom.
Yeah, well, especially if I can, like, that's the thing too, is that's like some of the more short form things. There have been times where, like, I'll come up with, like, really long-winded, nonsensical stories.
Yeah.
About things.
Right.
And that fucking kills you.
It's the funniest fucking thing. Whenever you like get creative and you go off on a tangent with the jokes you're trying to make, I'm rolling. It's like, it's so good.
It's because I'm so, like, not animated most of the time, so
once it happens, I'm just like, I'm fucking here for it.
So when I get a burst of energy, I'm just like,
yeah, I'm here for it. Like, I'm in for it.
I'm a goblin.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep that energy going. I love that. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Well, that was our very long-winded version of the pre-Newlywed game.
Yeah. I like that. That was really fun. Yeah. I love playing games. Get to know a little bit more about each other, too.
Yeah. Well, especially because, just before we go, I did tell Ken the other day that every day, like, a holiday or a special occasion happens, I'll have a bad dream about somebody I know being mean to me for some reason. That's a new thing that started this year.
Yeah.
And I just had a dream the other night before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
That me and Ken were walking back to our house in the middle of winter, and he proposed to me in the middle of the street, and then when I got excited about it, he told me he was joking and pushed me into a snowbank and ran away. So we're playing the pre-Newlywed game because he pushed me into a snowbank.
I hate Dream Me. It's not nice at all.
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
don't like
Just
that.
wanted to let everybody know about the dream.
Yeah.
Because I think I also, and especially if Erica's listening, I told her that you were mean to me in my dream.
Oh, but you didn't explain why?
But I didn't tell her what the dream was.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was pretty fucked. I can't believe Dream Me did that.
Yeah, Dream
what
Me
an
is mean.
asshole.
Anyway,
so do you have a little something to promote? Something you want to talk about before we sign off for the episode?
The only thing I could think to recommend would be Joey Garcefa's Escape the Night.
Really? You just got into that one because of internet drama.
Well, the thing is I already watched Joey Garcefa.
Is it Garcefa or is it Graceffa?
Garcefa.
I don't know. I don't know.
I just say his name how I say it. I haven't actually read it.
I've never heard it like clearly enough, I think, to like say one way or the other.
But regardless, I suppose he might not be everyone's cup of tea, but he's like a dramatic gay boy who's very silly and and makes shows with other YouTubers. And
he does like a vlog series that you were into for a while, especially when his cat was pregnant.
He's been rescuing cats and dogs and doing shelter work with puppies and kittens and stuff. And so of course I watched his videos he makes about puppies and kittens. I don't remember why I started watching him in the first place. I think it's because he was friends with Rosanna Pansino.
Oh sure, yeah.
And so I had already been watching his content for a long time, and he'd keep talking about his series on YouTube Originals Escape the Night.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of other YouTubers I think you described it as it's like a Big Brother Survivor challenge.
Yeah, it's basically
style.
Escape Room Survivor.
Yeah. And so it's like, I kept hearing about it and like seeing stuff about it, and I was like, it doesn't look very entertaining. Like, I'm not gonna watch it.
Sure.
But I kept hearing about it because it's his series, so of course he's like...
He's talking about it, of course.
And it had, like, YouTubers I liked in it, but I just was like, there's, like, only a handful, so I'm, like, not gonna put in the effort to watch it, especially if it costs money. It doesn't anymore, it's free.
Right.
But then there's this whole YouTube drama that just recently exploded.
Right.
About this one girl's... Gabby Hanna. I don't know if anyone knows her or cares. She's not worth your time. But she was like trying to bash what was going on set for the 4th season.
Sure.
And I watched Joey's and his ex-boyfriend's Danielle Prada their videos on all of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? No better time to just fucking binge the whole thing.
Yeah, like I might as well watch it to see what all this like conversation is actually about. Right.
So I started watching it and I was like, this isn't like normally the thing I like am gonna be into.
Right.
But then before you knew it, I was on season 3 at like 6 o'clock in the morning the next day. And I was like, I like this show. It's pretty fucking good. Even if it got like cringy or seemed like scripted at times ever, I was like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's no worse than like other TV.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch.
It's no worse than like Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like,
it's no better. It's, like, I love watching like all the YouTubers I enjoy be like dress up in costumes and like do bad acting or good acting.
And like it's neat because it's like YouTubers. It's not just like regular.
But also apparently they did like all the challenges for real for the most part, unless they needed a scripted death, like if someone couldn't be there past a point for recording.
Right.
Which is also really cool because they're like, oh, like there's a person. I loved going back and seeing all the YouTubers that became controversial that like were on it in like 2016 before they became controversial.
Yeah, like before it like became a whole thing. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's like it's good in ways that make it good, and it's also bad in ways that make it good.
Right.
And so it's just overall compelling. So if you're interested in YouTubers or YouTube series, or if you like those kinds of shows where there's like fake drama and it's like the challenges for like people getting killed off and stuff, there's like actually like a vague storyline to it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, for people who like reality TV shows like that, like reality game shows, like it's literally just a YouTube reality game show.
Yeah, it's good.
It's got like a time travel, like there's different themes, but it's got like gothic horror and like Victorian horror and like spooky carnival. Mm-hmm. Like they got all sorts of cool stuff.
I was gonna say, if you were gonna like try and go for the best one and like not watch the whole thing, season 3 is really good. It's just, I mean, you wouldn't get like a good amount of the story, but like it can be really easily summed up. I think they like go over it very vaguely in the beginning.
Yeah, and like it also like adds some mystery to the elements of certain characters. Like there's elements of like Joey's character in season 3 that like if you don't know the previous episodes, it's an actual mystery to you, so you're on the same page as some of the players as well. Yeah. And
it's really fun. And season 3 is the best one. It's like the crazy carnival and like I think it's
and it's like 70s themed, right?
70s thing.
Yeah. What was it like Matt Pat is he's like a private eye, he's like a trench coat and sunglasses detective. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is they have most that's the season that has most of the like YouTubers I knew.
Right.
And it's also the season that had like I think it's because the season started to amp up and they started like getting attention, so they started getting more funding and stuff. So they have like it has like a bunch of other like more dramatic characters, and they have a better cast. They had more stuff to go into like their monsters and stuff.
Right.
It's fun. So if that's your cup of tea, then give it a shot.
Hell yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us for this fun little game and activity. We'll catch you next week with something else fancy.
Ken's episode's next day.
Yeah, and I think I have an idea. I think I know what we're doing.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for listening. As always, we love it that you spend time with us and that you continue to watch our content. Here's to the train to 50 episodes. We're almost there.
Almost.
Yeah, we're going to get there. All right, thank you so much. We love you.
Love you, bye.